What is up, Beyond the Gates fans? I have to record from another room today, so sorry if there is an echo because today in the East Coast, the show did not air live, so I could not watch it live because some abomination lying fool was up on the television rambling on and on about bullshit. So the show did not air in the East Coast, so I had to wait till it was on Paramount Plus. Have to say, did enjoy watching it on Paramount for the first time in a long time, so I could fast forward through some of the scenes I didn't want to see, which was a lot of Vanessa and a lot of Naomi and Jacob. But I won't make this a habit yet unless the show does not get good during February sweeps. But outside of the people that I just mentioned, I did enjoy today's show quite a bit. I do feel like we might be moving towards an interesting February sweeps. Maybe I'm just feeling too positive. I don't know. But let's start with Vanessa running into Leslie, and I did find it funny that Vanessa was trying to take sexy pics for Joey, trying to show off a little cleavage and all of that, with Leslie interrupting and Leslie getting in some quips is always fun to see. But then Vanessa told Leslie that Joey, well, kind of thanked Leslie for working things out with Joey so that Joey could dedicate her free clinic to her ex, well, her dead husband, Doug McBride. But Leslie, of course, was hearing this for the first time because Joey did not have this agreement with Leslie. In fact, they agreed to the opposite when they were doing their negotiations. So Leslie did not like that. She went to Joey, and Leslie, per usual, did a very good job getting on Joey's nerves. And like I've been saying, I quite enjoy the Leslie and Joey scenes. I do feel like this is when Joey really shines these days. He used to shine in scenes with Vanessa at the beginning and scenes with Doug, but he's become very, very one note for me. But scenes with Leslie really brings out the irritation with Joey, which is what we're missing from the Joey and Vanessa scenes now. Joey used to always be irritated with Doug or with Vanessa, and now he's just lately been giving in to all of Vanessa's whims, and it's just not interesting. But Joey with Leslie, we have someone new able to push his buttons, and it makes for better scenes. But Joey got one up on Leslie today with some sort of blackmail, and I am interested in learning what exactly that blackmail might end up being. Leslie tried to have a poker face, which is ironic in where they were at Joey's casino, but it did end up shaking Leslie. Joey is saying there's going to be a plaque in Doug's name in front of the clinic, and there's nothing Leslie can do about it. He's having Bill Hamilton draw up the papers. Leslie, of course, is saying she's not signing anything from Bill Hamilton. But after the blackmail, Leslie didn't have a whole lot to say. She ended up going to the country club, throwing back a lot of shots in her being disgruntled after those scenes with Joey. So loved their scenes today. Two villains bringing out the best in each other. Can't really ask for more than that. Of course, later, Vanessa and Joey shared some scenes. Before that, though, I didn't watch a lot of it. But Nicole was with Vanessa today, talking about Vanessa's children. And then Nicole learned about Vanessa's running the escort service. And I just don't like how Dani and Nicole are just A-okay with their BFF Vanessa being a criminal. In fact, I think it really harms their characters. Now, I don't think that Dani or even Nicole are necessarily like their parents when it comes to the Dupree family and how they kind of carry themselves with their fakeness in public. We've seen that a lot from Vernon and Anita since this show started, that in public they always like to put on a face. And I don't know if Nicole and Dani are the exact same, but they are kind of still the same. So the fact that they just go along with still being friends with Vanessa when she's becoming a criminal is not exactly great for those two characters. Anyway, later in the episode, when Vanessa was with Joey, she got a call by some guy named Lance who was threatening Vanessa because he learned that his wife has been seeing man whores set up by Vanessa, is what he said, and was threatening Vanessa that it needs to be handled. Joey, of course, heard some of this conversation, wanted to be grandpa gangster and take care of it for her. But Vanessa is saying she's going to handle it herself, says she will fix it herself. Joey is saying he will stay out of this for now. I mean, at least this is a movement in Vanessa's storyline, and it doesn't have to do with her relationship with Joey yet. So I'm kind of here for it. I do want to see what happens. I would like for Vanessa to have some sort of downfall. I think it's long overdue with the way she's been acting since Doug's death. Kyle was back today. Also good to see Kyle after over a month. They debuted this character after Winterfest and didn't really show him since his date with Nicole. Today he was with Shanice. It was good to see them sharing scenes. As I said in my preview for the week on Sunday, I was worried that Kyle was only going to have scenes with Vanessa this week because of what I read with some of the spoilers. So glad to see that's not the case. He ends up having scenes with Carlton, and Shanice kind of let Kyle know that they're both interested in Nicole. And then later, Nicole ran into Kyle and Carlton at the same time, with Shanice standing there getting to be her nosy self. And Carlton learned that Kyle was his stand-in on Winterfest. So they're definitely setting up a love triangle here for Kyle, Carlton, and Nicole, which I am okay with, kind of. I just don't know how interesting a love triangle with boring Carlton in it can actually be. But I'm still open to it because I do like the chemistry with Kyle and Nicole. And unlike a lot of other relationships on this show, at least there's an obstacle. You know, soap opera couples thrive when they have obstacles, and boring Carlton might be that obstacle. It's not an interesting obstacle yet unless they make Carlton a little cuckoo. But they already kind of have a lot of cuckoo characters, so I don't know if they're going to go there or not. So Carlton being so boring might bring down that triangle, but either way, it's good to see Kyle back. Here's hoping we get to see Lynette sometime soon. She was a popular character the two or three episodes she was on for a month, or like a month or two ago. I don't even remember when Lynette debuted at this point. Pretty sure it was well over a month ago, though, much like Kyle. The story that's really going to kind of open up a lot this week and maybe carry the show into February sweeps is definitely Bill and Dani. Bill, the family was still celebrating Naomi and Chelsea's alleged good news. We don't really know if Naomi had good news, and she probably still doesn't, because in conversations with Jacob today, she was zoning out while they were talking. But Bill and Dani kept getting little moments of alone time, which was definitely irritating Hayley. Hayley kept interrupting their moments. When Bill was telling Dani that he understands her sigh of relief, they both have a sigh of relief that Chelsea and Naomi had good test results with the cancer gene. Hayley interrupted that moment, saying they're all a family now and they need to pull together. Then Andre also arrived, kissing Dani with Bill and Hayley standing right there. But then Bill and Dani ended up alone again, to the chagrin of Hayley. So Hayley spilled something on Bill to interrupt that moment again too. Before that, though, she ran into Leslie at the bar when Leslie was downing shots after her run-in with Joey. And Leslie was asking Hayley if Bill Hamilton is already losing interest, and Hayley's having a hard time or having trouble keeping Bill interested. And they've had a couple scenes before where Leslie has tried to work with Hayley. I still am enjoying this approach from the show of trying to connect their villains. I think it is a approach that has worked on past soap operas when villains sometimes work together. Even if they don't get along, they still have common enemies in common. So I think maybe Hayley will get some help from Leslie there. I don't know yet, but what after Hayley spilled the drink on Bill, she looked back at Leslie, and Leslie was looking at her. I mean, fun scenes today from this show with their villains, so I liked that. Chelsea and Madison had some scenes towards the end of the episode where they ran into this guy named Malik, who I guess supplied party favors for Chelsea in the past when she did drugs at parties. You know, when the show started, Chelsea was a partier. She was in that throuple thing. She was definitely living her best life. Today, this Malik character gave her drugs, party favors, and Chelsea wanted to take them and have a good time with Madison. Madison does not see the fun in taking drugs. And I guess this is the new problem in the relationship between these two. I don't know how far they will take Chelsea with doing drugs, but I remember before the show started and we got breakdowns of characters. The breakdown for the Chelsea character was that she liked drugs or something to that effect. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go that direction for Chelsea. The problem is, will we get to see it? Will it be like some other Chelsea and Madison stories and a lot of it take place off screen? If that's the case, it's just going to waste our time again. But if it's not the case, I'm interested to see where they go. The only other stuff on today was Nicole and Jacob, as I said at the beginning. Kind of fast forwarded a lot of them today since I got the chance and didn't have to watch it live. They did end up having a lot of sex towards the end of the episode, but it still seems Naomi is keeping it a secret that her test results might have not been as positive as she is letting on. I can't say I'm invested in this at all. It was definitely the weakest point of today's otherwise pretty damn solid episode of the show.